We are going to be talking about sex-linked pedigrees today. So sex-linked genetics problems, remember, they are on the X chromosome. So we're just looking at pedigrees like colorblindness, hemophilia that are X-linked and recessive. So here's kind of a blurry picture of a pedigree here. This one is sex-linked. You might not know that just from looking at it, but we will always tell you. So we have a set of steps for solving these pedigree problems. It's very similar to the other set of steps, but there's just a couple added things. So our steps here. First thing we're going to do, we are going to write XY for all squares because squares represent males, and then XX for circles because they represent females. And you'll remember when we were doing our sex-linked Punnett squares, we had to use XX and XY. So this should be familiar. So you'll notice I filled in for all the circles, we have XX. And for all of the squares, we have XY. At this point, it doesn't matter if they're shaded or not. They're all going to have an XX or an XY. So we just did step one. Step two, we're going to fill in the affected or shaded individuals. Just like we did with regular pedigrees, we always filled in the affected individuals first because we knew that they had two recessive letters. So just a reminder here, the letters are only on the X chromosome. In these cases, they are not on the Y, and this is true for all sex-linked pedigrees. So do not put a letter next to a Y. But what we're going to do then is all of the shaded ones. So there are 3 shaded ones here. They are going to get lowercase letters. So you'll notice both of the females have 2 lowercase e's, and then the male just has 1 because he doesn't get one for the Y chromosome. The next step then, each unshaded individual who's not affected gets at least 1 uppercase letter because they have at least 1 dominant gene that makes them quote unquote normal, okay? We don't know if they have 2 uppercase or just 1 and then a lowercase if they're female. So we're just going to fill in 1 uppercase letter to begin with. Okay. So let's take a look here. We filled in the big E here, big E for all of them. For our males, they're done, okay? Because this guy has a big E, he can't have a letter on his Y. Big E can't have a letter on the Y. So these guys are effectively done, okay? The ones we need to look at are the females because they're supposed to have another letter next to their X here. So we have three that we still need to look at. This one right here, this one right here, and this one right here. If it helps you to, put a star next to the ones that are, quote, done or have all their letters, totally works. Or just remember that females need 2 letters and males need 1. So if we take a look then, step 4 is fill in the remaining letters. So we have to think about our Punnett squares here. So let's start up here with this one. We know that 1 X has to come from mom and 1 from dad. So mom only has an X with a little e to give. So the offspring has to have at least 1 X with little e. So we could go in and fill in a little e here because we know that for sure. If we look down here, we know that mom is X little e, or X with a big E and a little e. Dad has a big E. And they end up having a son. And then there is a female that marries into the family. And because this female is marrying in, we don't really know what their genotype is. And especially because they have an unaffected female, again, we don't know. They could have a little e here, which would make this one either X big E or big E little e. They could also have a big E here, and would make this one X big E. Since we don't know, those individuals are going to end up with question marks. So we have question marks here, and we were able to fill in this one. Those are the 4 steps on how to solve sex-linked pedigrees.